Good afternoon, everyone. We'll just give it a minute while everyone is coming into the session here.
It'll likely be, I believe the settings are that when everyone joins it, their cameras stay off, so we might not see everybody's faces pop up.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and everyone's on mute, which is good for now. So how we've been doing this fairly successfully is as I am getting through the deck, as you think of your questions, write them in the chat. And between Adriana and myself, we'll monitor it. You'll notice if I see something in the chat, because typically I will get distracted and then we'll lose my train of thought for a minute or two. But I'll get it back. Don't worry, and we'll be able to go through everything. And it is fairly informal, so if I'm able to stop and answer a question while we're on the topic, that's great. If not, we'll go through them, and then if you'd rather raise your hand when we get to the Q&A part, you can raise your hand and we can chat. So I've got my meeting chat opened on the sides. And what do you think, Adriana? Are we good to go? You'll be letting a lot of people in.
Yeah, I think you can go ahead. We've got over half of those that registered, so I think that's a
yes, and in the world of don't punish the punctual, we can get going. So thank you all for being here to talk about our 26-27 partnership program. We did this last year. It went very well, so we figured we may as well do it again, get all those questions out of the way. And I've got Adriana here, and Rebecca and Sarah from the IRM team. I think Lisa is away. She's on vacation today, which is fine. She's from Durham, but you can always reach out to her. And of course, Katie, who is our phenomenal operations director and keeps all of us in check, not just you guys, but us too, when it comes to our fiscal and fiduciary responsibilities. So without any further ado, let me kick this off. So here's our agenda. We'll go through the overview, talk a little bit about our new focus, eligibility, talk a lot about what does a successful project look like, the application process, claims and reporting, and then we'll end with a Q&A. Okay, so what the partnership fund is, we are funded by the Ministry of Tourism, Gaming, and Culture. So that is the current name of the ministry that funds the regional tourism organization model. There's 11 RTOs across the province. We are one of them. They have taken a chunk of the budget that they've given us, and they said this has to be used for partnership, which is a minimum of a 50-50% matching program. Supporting stakeholders in building the capacity and driving growth in the visitor economy. So that's what it is. That's what we've been doing it for years. Every year we do it, it becomes more popular, and we've been running out of money. Success of this program, the one thing we are measured on is growth of the economic impact from visitors who travel more than 40 kilometers one way. So in the scope of what we are doing and what your applications need to be, it has to be focused on that as your end goal. How is your project going to drive more visitors from further away to come and spend time with you and within the region? And of course, it's open to any tourism businesses, organizations, and events within York, Durham, and Headwaters to support tourism-focused projects that occur between April 1, 2026 and March 31st, 2027. And I do need to put the caveat on this is we do not yet have any indication that the RTO model will live into next fiscal. We're 5 days away, so we're assuming, because we haven't heard we're not, that there's a good chance that we are, but everything we're going to talk about today is caveated based on the budget that the ministry provides us. So we're just assuming everything is static. Okay, So if you haven't been following the news, the Tourism Industry Association of Ontario, which is our provincial advocacy arm for the visitor economy and tourism, has launched a new strategy that was built by us. So stakeholders and municipalities and DMOs and the RTOs and all of the different sector associations were part of the development of this new plan. And it's great because it follows really what we try to do, which is a bottom-up model. Like Tayo shouldn't be picking and choosing what issues they need to focus on with the province. They need to listen to what's going on in the trenches and then put those into buckets and then take that to the province. And that's what they're doing. In this plan, the plan recognizes that the RTOs are best suited to support and take the lead on product and destination development, working with stakeholders to get them to work together so they aren't an island unto themselves and work towards a collective that is bigger than the sum of its parts. So our new 26 program is going to support this provincial mandate. We want to align with it. And there's a couple of reasons we want to. One is we believe in it. We really do believe we've gotten past the point of helping an individual business that is just sitting and doing stuff for themselves. It is helping businesses that are saying, here's how I'm part of the larger ecosystem, and here's how the project that I'm bringing forward is going to help not only us, but it's going to help everyone else in our community. And here's how we're going to do it. So we're focusing on product development projects and those designed to improve destination readiness. So we are no longer supporting large out-of-region marketing partnerships for one-day events. So that is a very big change. If you have a one-day event, we will work with you to find you the other streams that are available through, Celebrate Ontario and OCAD and other places like that to try to get some of your funding. But the ROI on those investments, and they're great events, and so please don't let me think that anything that I'm saying is saying that the event isn't phenomenal. It's the ROI on the lasting impact that will have on that community is just not there. So that is a big change for this year. Sorry, I just got a text. I was making sure that it is okay. We're good. So in 2026, there's going to be several streams. So one is CCT partnered and destination development projects. And those projects can get up to 25,000 in matched fundings from CCT. So from us. So if the project is $50,000 and it's approved, the partner can put in 25 and we would match with 25. High impact festivals and events can now get up to $10,000 from Central Counties Tourism. And those are multi-day, multi-weekend, pulsed in throughout the year events that are driving high levels of proven high levels of visitors who are traveling more than 40 kilometers. And then we've renamed, last year we called it the Small Business Marketing Support, but really it's open to organizations and other players. So we're just calling it the Tourism Marketing Support. So we will match up to $2,000 that you are investing in specifically targeting people from outside of 40 kilometers. So just say you have it in it, and it doesn't need to be for anything specific. If your annual marketing budget to get people from more than 40 kilometers is $2,000, you can then apply and say, this is what we are already spending, and here's what we're going to spend with 4,000 if you post that. And yes, it will include social media boosts as long as you show that the targeting of those boosts, because you can go right down to the postal code, Angela, is that you're going to take all of those the boosted money, all of it has to be outside of that region. Okay. We'll get to that one, Heather, at the end. Okay, about the other ones. So the tourism eligibility requirements or general eligibility requirements, you have to register your organization and or your event on centralcounties.ca. That's number one. Because as we've said in the past, in the yes, having money, having some partnered funds is one thing, but central counties provide so much more just for free as part of our core mandate. Taking advantage of everything we offer is really what we're hoping that you're going to be doing. So making sure your business is listed and your events are listed is makes sense, because that is where we create our content for our own campaigns. Is we pull from that and we send out every couple of weeks, we send out a bulletin of all the upcoming events to all the major dailies, the radio stations, all that sort of thing. That is invaluable to you if, because sometimes your event gets picked up and you're like, how did I get on 680 News, or why did I see me scroll across CP24? It's because you had it listed with Central Counties, and the producers of those shows decided, hey, that's the one we want to do. You have to operate within the regions of Durham, York, or Headwaters. Doesn't mean you need to be headquartered there, but if you're running a 1 or 2 week or 2 weekend event and you're based out of Toronto, but the event is taking place in one of those places, that would still be eligible. You can't stress enough, you must have a meeting with your industry relations manager, with Sarah if you're in York, with Rebecca if you're in the Headwaters region, and with Lisa if you are in Durham. They know the program. They can talk to you in advance about what they think and how they think it's going to be received by the evaluation committee, and how you can change it, to make it more focused and specific. You have to then track the impact of your project on the visitor economy, because that's the metric that I'm measured against. Central Counties tourism gets measured against how much more money is spent in our region by people who are more than 40 kilometers away. We continue to show a positive ROI. We continue to show growth. And that is very important to the ministry. If we want the ministry and the government to take seriously the ridiculous amount of tax money this industry and all of you on this call make for them to then afford to fix the roads and keep schools open and do healthcare, we have to continue to show the dollars and cents. So part of your application will be, how are you measuring this? Because not all projects are going to be, not all the projects are going to be marketing forward. There could be wayfinding projects in there and route development projects that have a long-term effect. How are you going to track that? Well, if you're a municipality, you're doing a wayfinding project, it could be that you're committing to doing some geofence data to see what the year-over-year increases. Are people utilizing the road systems that you want them to go to more? Is there more people in the parking lots where you're driving people? Are they traveling from 40 kilometers away? There's a lot of different ways to do it, but there needs to be a commitment to report back the success of your project based on what success looks like to you and what success looks like to the municipality you belong in. You have to be able to list at least one other organization or business that is involved with and will benefit from your program. And I really do need this. This can't be your designer, right? Or your graphic designer or your web person. It needs to be, once again, when we're talking about what your project is, it has to be about how are you getting people to places where they can spend more money. Right. So just say you've put together a really great museum route or something like that, and you're listing the best restaurant or the best accommodation in each of the different municipalities you're sending people to. That's what we're talking about. You are working with them, and then you would say to them, hey, we're doing this. We have this great route. Can you please promote this on your website as well? So that there's a cross benefit. And then, of course, you need to review the report template and be committed to collecting the data required and to submit an accurate report. Because what I do at the end of the year is I take all of those reports and I aggregate them and I send them to the ministry to say, hey, do you know what? We leveraged our 307, we have $379,000 is what we've got. And so we're leveraging a minimum of 379,000 from our partners. And we want to be able to say, and that generated $30 million in economic impact, $1.4 million in provincial tax, 750,000 in municipal tax, supported this many jobs, boom, 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 boom. We want to be able to continue to show that the money that they provide the RTOs and this industry in general is not an expense. It is an investment because we are returning back to them more money than they give us. So this is really where we're at, and our region is ready for this. I've been here 13 years, and I've loved every minute of it because I've been watching our municipalities grow. I've been watching the businesses working together. I was in Uxbridge I think it was Monday night, and one of the restaurants showed me a cup. And I was like, oh, that's a nice plastic cup with your logo on it. She goes, turn it around. And I turned it around, and on the back of the cup was other great things to do in Uxbridge. And she's on the cup listed other places in town that weren't her with the Discover Uxbridge website. I almost shed a tear. One left side, just one. Right. It was very, very cool to watch and see in action people who are starting to get it and starting to understand how they work together. So on approval, you must be willing to include a link to the YorkDurhamHeadwaters.ca website from your website. Your consumer-facing website, we want to link to our consumer-facing website, which is YorkDurhamHeadwaters.ca. Acknowledge the partnership by including the CCT and or YDH logos on all public-facing marketing materials where possible, and we'll provide you with a full kit of. We're reworking it to make it easier for you, so you'll know exactly when to use what logo and how. And then, of course, if you're doing any photography or videography that's part of this program, it'll be uploaded to our image bank as well, because we often will have media and other people who are looking to use great photos and videos in their social posts to drive more people to your business. Okay. So Stream 1 are CCT partner programs. So these are projects that we as staff are actively involved in and or have been identified as supporting its seasonal focus, development goals, etc. So we have several right now that we have in the works. We're working with our museums in Durham region, doing a railway thing. We are looking at a much broader museum and heritage site program or routes that we are working with them to do and promote. We have several beer and spirits trails that are actively in the works that'll all be part of this overall program, because these are the focuses that we've identified as being high priority. A lot of our stakeholders, sorry, a lot of our visitors are looking for these activities. They don't know about them, and a lot of times it's because each of the individual stakeholders are too small to have any impact on trying to reach them. So we're working to get them to work collectively, and we're supporting that. So all projects, so it's not like we're just doing it willy-nilly. All of these will still be approved by our partnership committee and the evaluation committee. So Stream 2 is destination development projects. So this is another one that can be up to $25,000. So this is suited to tourism and route organizers, municipalities, BIAs, DMO partners to help develop or revitalize a project. So this is some of the recommended projects. Can be wayfinding, historic or public art, walking routes, new visitor technologies like QR codes, apps, new routes and or passport programs like we're trying to do with the beer and cider trails. Efforts to increase investment that grows the visitor economy. So that includes some research and other ways to redevelopment ideas, kind of like what Robert does. If you were at the tourism symposium, is looking at a community and how do you create a vibrant community. There's consulting that can be done there. And then offsetting the cost of strategic planning. So if a community doesn't have a strategic plan and they're going to try to do get someone, we can help offset that cost, because that is looking to invest on an ongoing basis into the future of the development. Okay, stream 3, high impact festivals and events. So the programming has to span a minimum of 2 days. You have to have 500 plus tourism attendees validated by past data. So brand new festivals will not be eligible this year. You have to have had a past festival with supporting data. Past total attendance greater than 2,000. And we had a debate back and forth about was 2,000 people really high impact? And we were like, the important part for us is the 500. If you have a 2,000 person event where 500 of them are from more than 40 kilometers away, that means you have 25% of your total visitation is from tourists. And that is a much higher impact, the way we look at it, than having a 10,000 person event where 500 of them are local or are tourists, right? You're still at that 500, but because we can only report on the visitor numbers, the important number there is the 500. Don't get me wrong, all of the businesses in town will love it if you have a 10,000 person event where 500 are tourists, because they will still benefit from the locals coming. But we have to be very, very cognizant that we're reporting only on the 40-kilometer plus stuff. Minimum of one stay and play package listed on an accommodator website and their socials. Can be very difficult if you're only working with chain hotels, but there are some workarounds. But of course, there are phenomenal B&Bs and other places, inns, all sorts of different places that you can work with as well to try to help them stay full. And of course, they already have a big following, and people will be browsing their options when they're looking for things to do all season long, and might be able to find your information about your festival and event on their website. A minimum of 3 partners posting attendee perks on site and on their websites and social. So retail, restaurants, breweries, cideries, you're partnering with them and you're driving to them and saying, hey, you know what? You tell them you're coming to this festival and you get X, and they're promoting to your patrons, hey, come, if you're at this festival, come to us and receive X. And it doesn't need to be a discount. It could be an added value or a perk or whatever they want to give, but you need it to be prominent on their webs and socials too. You need to have a things to do and or a stay and play section on your event website with links to tourism packages, tourism pages for partners, the municipal tourism site if they have it, the regional one if they have it, and of course yorkdurhamheadwaters.ca. If you're serious about driving people more than 40 kilometers away, they're going to want to do some other stuff. And that's what we really want, especially if you've got a 2 or 3 day festival, because we want them to spend the night and come to your festival both days, but also do other stuff. Like, where are you going for breakfast? You know, what are you going to do? What are you doing between the noon concert series and the evening concert? Like, we want people to do other stuff. And the funding is provided to match out of region marketing support only. So once again, if you've got $10,000, or even, just say you've got $4,000 that you are dedicating to promoting outside of the 40 kilometers of where the event is taking place, we can match $4,000 to that. Okay. All right. So stream 4 is up to $2,000 in matching funding to support paid marketing programs geared towards the visitation outside of 40 kilometers. 1 application per small business or organization. Its purpose is to increase the ability to extend the reach and length of the consumer marketing programs, and is not campaign specific. So this one really is just, it is here to help you get more people or get your message to more people more often outside of that 40 kilometers. And it has a simplified application. So from an eligibility perspective, owner operators of establishments and experiences providing tourism related products and experiences and festivals and events are not eligible. Having said that, if you have a business that is open, throughout the year, and you do have a couple of festivals and events through the year, it can be eligible for your whole campaign, which might include a little bit of marketing on your festival events. If you are a festival and event that is there for a weekend or whatever, it's not the same thing. It is different than if you have a business that a festival and event is an addition, is additional programming to your normal business. Okay, what does a successful project and event look like? Well, it's focused on, we've already talked about this. I feel like I'm on a soapbox. I do this a lot, it seems. Focus on driving visitation throughout the area through collaboration, promotes the area as a destination, and is it beneficial to the area's visitor economy. That's the key. You are not in a bubble. You are part of a bigger ecosystem, and your project needs to reflect that. There needs to be a longevity of the return on investment. So if you're putting in a new program, how long do you think it's going to last? If you're doing a new route or a new whatever, is it going to last a couple of years? How are you going to change it? How are you going to get people to keep coming to it? A commitment to research and measuring success. It doesn't mean you have to pay for research. Research can be collecting postal codes when you get there. It can be. It definitely needs to be measuring against the KPIs that you put in your application. Absolutely. So be very mindful of what you are saying you are going to do when you fill out your application, because we are going to hold you to it. You need to have many confirmed and active partners. That is it. That is a key. We check, and our evaluation committee checks. So there was people last year that said, "Oh yeah, we've got these great partnerships," and we went on their websites and they were not listed. So they were not successful, because you need to have the active partners doing what you're asking them to do. And stuff that's going to extend the length of stay and encourage overnight visitation, and have at least one that's an overnight accommodation provider. Those are big things. People who spend the night, especially if they're spending their night in one of our great B&Bs, and our smaller accommodators, it's hitting the right mark. They spend money with them. They spend money in town, that sort of thing. But don't get me wrong, the big hotels, it's good too if you're in one of the bigger cities. But there are accommodators everywhere. I guess that's what I'm saying, because there's some places like we don't have anywhere where people can stay. You probably do. You just got to find them, because they're going to be the big hotel chains. They're going to be these smaller independent businesses, and that's a great opportunity. Okay, Katie, I'm going to take a sip and you can go through all of this good stuff.
Hi, everyone. I'm sure this is the fun part for everybody. So I do the financials, and if you're successful with the partnership application, you'll be working with me on getting your expenses compiled, your report filled out, your financial report filled out, and the reimbursement paid. So it's important to note that you need to get your financial claim in 30 days after the project completion, or March 1st, whichever is sooner. March 1st is the cutoff date, because we need to be able to reconcile and close it. So some projects do extend past March 1st, but if it's in this fiscal year, it's assumed that you will already have been paying for your marketing, your graphic design, whatever it is that you applied for. So March 1st is the cutoff date for submitting a financial claim. The financial claim needs to be submitted through the CCT partnership online portal. That's SurveyMonkey. That's where you applied in the first place. We don't accept submissions by email. We want to have them all in the same place. On your claim form, it actually has a link right to SurveyMonkey. So it's really, really simple to just kind of click that link and upload everything. Partner must provide both the expense and proof of payment for all expenses. This is the one that usually gets people a bit confused. We send out as part of your contract, a detailed appendix for everything you need to know about that. So very much encourage you to read that appendix, because that gives you everything, like what type of proof of payment we require, what an expense looks like, what is eligible, etc. Um, that was the next part, the agreed upon schedule. And then again, if you're awarded partnership, please review your contractual obligations. That does include your budget, because sometimes we have items that we've excluded because they don't really fit in. You may have applied for it, but doesn't quite fit. An example of that might be, you put in the cost of MailChimp. Often see MailChimp, Canva subscriptions. We don't typically include those because you're already paying for them. So we're not here to help you cut down your cost. We're here to extend what you can do. So please do check your budget after, and please check your contractual obligations. And then the only other thing that I would have to say about the financial process is that you're not alone in this. If you read and you have questions, please contact me. Please get in touch. I'm a very lovely person. So I'm always here to help. I'm always here. It can be a bit confusing, but just reach out and I'll walk you through it. And just as long as you've read it first, I'm happy to walk you through anything else. If there's any confusion or questions, I'm always available. So
Perfect.
I think
And
that's
I'm
it for
just
me.
okay. And I'm just going to add one more thing because it's an important piece of the budget. When you put your budget in, it needs to be fairly solid, like as solid as you can make it. And the reason for that is just say you've put in a project and your budget you put in at $20,000 and you were kind of winging it. You thought that that's where it was going to land. So you're investing 10, we're investing 10. If the price of the program, by the time you've only spent 15,000, you're still spending 10 because that's what you committed, and we're committing 5, and now we're freeing up 5,000 for other projects. It doesn't get split down the middle. Your commitment dollars go first, and our commitment dollars go second. Very, very important piece of that puzzle. And I've put it in the application as clear as I can, so that you recognize that. But that's why it's really important to have, if you're doing a big project, it's good to have quotes. If you've got quotes, so you'll know, oh man, okay, here are the quotes I've been getting. This is what I know it's going to cost. Because your commitment goes first, our commitment goes second. Did I say
Just
that
to
right, Katie?
Yeah, just
No.
to explain that a little bit further, because I know that kind of people ask why sometimes. The idea is that if you said that you're going to spend 10 and you want 10 from us, we've committed that 10 to you, which means we can't give it to somebody else who needs it. So we want to make sure that if you're asking for it, we'll give it to you, but make sure you use it, because otherwise it could have been given to somebody who needed it and we didn't. So that's why it doesn't just get split down the middle. Of course, there are extenuating circumstances. In your contract, you are provided with an amendment request. If you have an extenuating circumstances, such as somebody decided to give something for free that you were expecting to pay for, we encourage you to find something else to spend on. And if it wasn't in your budget originally, fill out amendment request. We will consider it, and we will see if it does fit in. And if the circumstances were indeed extenuating, and it wasn't just like, oh, I forgot about it, I didn't spend it, I might as well just do something else. So we do encourage you to kind of, like, again, focus on spending all your money, but you do have an option if something kind of went sideways or went in a different direction to request an amendment.
Right. Yeah, and that's a very good point about the amendment. Is really read all your documents. There are so many different supports in there, and so many different things that Katie provides to make it as easy as possible for you to do these reconciliations. Take advantage of it. Where we run into issues and difficulties is when we get to the 12th hour or the 11th hour, and it's being put in wrong. We're like, well, I didn't know about that. You did. It was written. Yeah, and you signed it. So it's very important that we work at keeping in touch and understanding exactly what the program is meant to do. It's not like we don't want to give you the money. If your program has been deemed excellent, and we want to partner with you, we want to partner with you. So we want to make it as easy as possible. So go through the documents. It's from Katie's perspective, it is just as much work to do a $2,000 contract as it is to do a $25,000 contract, and probably to each of the stakeholders, the one that applied for two versus the one that applied for 25,000, it's equally as important as well, right? It's all about the scale of what the dollar value is irrelevant to the importance of what we think you're doing. Okay, then the final report. This is different. The final report is different than the financial report. The final report is a separate document that is you reporting against what you said you were going to do. It's due no later than March 1st. So we do give you a little bit of extra time, although I always recommend getting it done early or getting it done as you were building out your project so that it's all top of mind. You don't have to start searching back for stuff. It is also found in the final report and reimbursement stage, so you'll be able to download it there or fill it in there, and then it's to be submitted through the online portal as well. Okay, so this year we are just doing one intake. We're going to be opening it up, I think, next week or later this week. We're working on finalizing the final report documents. The applications are done. We just want to get a couple more eyes on it to make sure that it makes sense to everyone. So applications will be due April 30th, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, you'll find out whether you were successful. If your project started April 1 and you have expenses that started April 1 that you've put into your budget, those will be eligible. Katie, am I correct in that?
You are correct, Chuck.
Good. I just wanted to double check because sometimes I say things and I'm not correct. Okay, so we will accept any expenses that begin April 1 against your project. So you'll be able to, even if you've had to pay it, you'll be able to show it, and we will honor that as one of the expenses that are part of the project. On the tourism marketing program, the $2,000 one, it's a rolling intake. So we check it every couple of weeks, and we make decisions, and off we go until the money is depleted from that one. And I think that's it. So let me go and see what questions we have. Heather, can you apply for tourism in addition to another stream? I would say the answer would be no. What you would do is when you're applying for the other stream, you would add in your marketing costs into that to get your out of region marketing costs and just make it just one. Does that make sense? Is Heather still here? Oh, message. Okay, good. It made sense. Awesome. Allison, yes. So Allison is from the Orangeville BIA. If the BIA has several projects that fit under the destination development portal, you can put all three in your one application and put the budgets of each into that application. So I don't want you to have to fill out 3 applications for 3 different projects if they all fit under that same category. All right. So that's that one. Any other questions? You can raise your hand or you can type it in the chat. Oh, here we go. A rolling event series that happens 5 times throughout the summer. Have you done that? A, have you done it before, Caitlin? And B, do you have 500 plus visitors from outside of 40 kilometers that you have captured through some sort of data collection method from past experiences? If the answer to that is yes, then you would be eligible to apply because it's a 5-day event. Okay, offsetting the cost of, yes. How might we demonstrate a measurable impact? Well, if you were special event strategy specifically, so that one could be difficult. You would, on the special events strategy, as long as a focus of it, as when you're putting out your RFP, is the strategy has to include a strategy for attracting and retaining people from more than 40 kilometers away. That then puts the onus on whatever proponent you choose to make those recommendations. So what does success look like in that case? The success looks like that the plan gets put out there, is adopted by council, and is implemented, which means there's now a strategy in place that that staff are beholden to execute to drive more special events that bring people in from more than 500 kilometers. Well, Amanda, I don't know. I'd like to say that something in the water, maybe. I don't know. Okay. Sorry, Amanda. Did that help? Did I answer that okay? Okay, perfect. Pull-up banners, markets are designed and printed for sharing at farmers market, all along with discount card. Yeah, well, Phil, we'll talk about that one. It's always if you don't already have them for your the farmers markets you're going to, then I think that makes sense. I'd love to, yeah, the discount card stuff makes good sense because it's a great way to track the visitation. So if you're at a farm, you're up in Caledon, if you end up at that downtown one like you're hoping, and you're get people to come in, you're providing a way to track how many actually show up. That's sort of exactly what we're looking for. So I think that would make sense.
Chuck, can I interrupt you just for a
Yes,
sec?
of course.
I've
Introduce
seen a
yourself,
few
Sarah.
different, I've seen a few different people commenting about applying more than once. And I just, can you just clarify for everybody, like it is not you can't apply once in every stream,
No, that is correct.
right?
Yes,
So
sorry.
just so people don't think that they can throw it, like I have 3 high impact events, I'm going to apply 3 times.
Yeah.
It's one
No,
and done, right?
yes, it is.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
can't keep going back to the well because there's so many people that require some assistance to take these awesome ideas that you have and bring them out.
So either make what you're asking for work into one application, or that's your only choice, really, if you have more than one thing
That's
going on.
that's right. That's right. So Allison, if you have a marketing project, your marketing project still as a BIA, your marketing project is still destination development if you are focused on plus
Yeah.
40 kilometers. So that will fit right into first of all, Allison, you called it a grant. Oh, it's my one. Don't call it a grant. It's a partnership because we want to partner with you. We want to promote everything that you're doing as well. And we want you to take advantage. That's okay. I forgive you. But yes, that can roll into one application as part of a destination development. Because especially if you're launching a new, like if you're developing a new route and half your money is going into developing the new route or the new trail or the whatever it is that you're doing to make your destination vibrant, yeah, you should have some money set aside then to try to promote it to the visitors that you want to come. So that very easily fits into one application. What else have we got? That can't be it. That could be it. All right. I think that I saw Adriana say that we'll make the deck available, which we will. The applications are pretty straightforward. We just finished doing up the final report. So that one is done and ready to go. But remember, your first call is going to be to Sarah or Rebecca or Lisa. Actually, Rebecca, you might, if you're here still, you could turn on your camera, introduce yourself to everyone, because I think that would make sense, because not everyone at Headwaters might know you yet.
Yeah, for sure. Hey guys, so I'm Rebecca, the Industry Relations Manager for Headwaters. So yeah, feel free to connect with any questions and we can chat about your partnership ideas and go from there.
Perfect. So yeah, Tanya, the big change is we're focused on projects that are destination development based. We are no longer supporting 1 year festivals. That is the biggest change to this year.
1 day festivals. You said 1 year.
Sorry, yes, 1 day festivals. Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's all in the deck. Okay. Huh. All right. So I guess with that, we'll end it here. We're always around. Give us a call whenever you need us. And keep doing the great work that you're doing. My hope is that with this new focus, we will continue to have more and more businesses doing, what I saw in Uxbridge, where without any remuneration from anyone has gone out of their way to promote the rest of the town to everyone who's visiting their spot. So I'm really hoping that focusing in on this, everyone working together as part of the partnership is really going to stand us out when it comes to the experiences we provide to the visitors who are coming. And what'll be great is they'll realize, okay, well, I had this great event that took place up in Scugog, but that's the same area as central counties. I can go do this in Orangeville, and I'll know I'll have the same welcoming environment and everyone working together and all those things, and they'll just keep coming to us more and more often until all of us are driving Lamborghinis. So anyway, awesome. Thanks so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.